What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel for this really quick video, and today I'll be talking about the biggest placebo effect in 2K24. For those of you who don't know what placebo effect means, on 2K terms, it's like when you equip a badge, then you start to see things improve even though the badge doesn't really affect those things, that it's just all in your head. You just see things because you want to see it. This one here is not yet the main topic, but one big example of a proven placebo effect is the lightning reflexes back in 2K20. Many believe that it does a lot of things. Some say it made their movement speed much quicker, that it gets them better steal animations, that it gets them a lot of rebounds, that their player becomes more twitchy and change direction much faster, and a lot of other stuff. But at the end, Mike Wang, the gameplay director, said that it doesn't do any of those, that it only affects how early the arrow appears, which is what I've been saying. So what happened was, players believed that when they equip lightning reflexes, all those things will happen. So they started to see things that was already been there even before they equipped the badge. Trust me, probably around 75% of the players believe that it does something. So that's one of the best example that placebo effect happens in 2K. If you want to see how much players were fallen on that placebo effect, I'll put the links in the pinned comment section down below and read the players' comments. So now for the main topic that has a big placebo effect right now, that is motion styles. Based on my test, the only functional thing that motion style does is to affect your actual movement speed. Anything else, like how they do their own defensive stance, are just visuals. Some viewers agree, but some don't. Some say it affects a lot of other things. Some players say that it affects their dribbling. Some say their players get bumpy and their players get more rebounds. Some say it gets more cutoff animations. Some say that it gets them more flagrant fouls. Some say they get more blocks and some other stuff. So in this video here, I'll give my take on why I think those additional things are just placebo effect. Some parts of this one underwent real test, but the other half are just assumptions. But of course, I'll try to be objective with those assumptions. So now for the first one, I'll give a quick recap first on the parts that I tested. First one, I found out that your motion styles affect your movement speed without the ball. Yeah, visually they are different, but their speeds are different as well. So it's not just cosmetics. Next one, it doesn't affect your lateral movements. Some may show difference visually, but if you actually tested their speeds, they are just the same. Next one, yes, it changes your defensive stance, but the moment you challenge a shot, all of them will just follow one animation, and their coverages are just the same as well. I tested a lot of samples, and they are just the same. Next one, it doesn't speed up your cutoff animations. I tested a lot of samples as well, and they are just the same. Next one, as expected, it doesn't affect your dribbling. So now for the most important part, why do I think that all those additional effects that some players say are just placebo effect? And by the way, just a quick disclaimer, I may show comments here, but I don't mean to, talk bad about the comments. I'm just basically answering comments through a video. So now for the first reason, I just think that it's too good to be true. You gotta keep in mind, motion style is basically a free animation. It's not like your usual SIGs that has a stat requirement to reach, or your attributes that has a cap. The only requirement of motion styles is height. In 2K, sometimes players can't feel a +5 on attributes. Some players can't even feel a gold badge, which is understandable. A lot of players can't feel the difference between a 80 and 90 acceleration, and there's a lot more. Boosts are really small to be noticed. It's been like this even from the past years. That's why guys like me or some other channels like 2K Lab need to have thousands of samples just to get a small difference. So I just don't think that a free animation like motion styles would do something like booster blocks, rebounds, dribbling, cutoff animations, and a lot of other stuff, like foul frequency. And on top of that, to boost in a way that will be noticeable, man, that's too good to be true. To be honest, for motion styles to have a boost on your movement speed, that's a bargain already. And I might say, shoots, if it doesn't boost all those things, then how come I can feel it? With all due respect to some players that say it does a lot of things, I think it's just a placebo effect. I'll show you some comments. This guy said that the moment he put Draymond Green, now his player do a lot of body bumps. This guy said that the moment he equipped Draymond Green, now he gets a lot of flagrant fouls. This guy said he started to get bumpy with Draymond Green as well, and equipping Kawhi gets him better lateral cutoff animations, so does Iggy. And the moment he equipped Gafford, now he blocks and rebounds better. And some players say equipping Rodman gives them better block animations. And in here, this guy said putting Halliburton took away his cutoff animations. And this guy here said that the moment he equipped Curry, he got cooked on defense. And this guy here said equipping LeBron James got him more chase down blocks. So you probably noticed, these are real life stuff. Draymond Green being bully, Gafford and Rodman being a good rebounder and blocker, LeBron being a good chase down blocker, Curry and Halliburton being defensive liabilities, all real life stuff. And the thing about it though, ever since, 2K Animations doesn't work like that. Best jumpers were T-Mac, Rudy Gay, Trey Burke, Dante Exum, Aldridge, and some other non-shooters. Last year, Levine was one of the best dribble style. This year, fastest motion style is Caruso for smaller builds, and Jokic is one of the fastest in big man motion styles. All these underwent tests. So my point here is, ever since, 2K is not really good in making these animations work like their real life counterparts. So I just don't think that suddenly now everything matches up. I think what's happening is, the moment you equip your motion styles, you start to see new things that was already been there even before. Like you started to imagine things in real life. The moment you equip Draymond Green, now you start to notice all those bump animations. The moment you put Rodman, now you actually start to watch the rebound animations. You start to notice everything because you watch out for those things now. And I might say, oh, Choots, there's too many players that notice it. Maybe it's true. I know what you mean, but I always try not to be, swayed by it, knowing that it's easy to get placebo effect in this game. Even with lightning reflexes issue, trust me, I think around 75% of players believe that it does a lot of things. But does that mean they were correct? No, right? At the end, it was proven by Mike Wang that it only makes the arrow on the player's gauge appear earlier. So if many players believe on something, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's correct. And I might say, oh, Choots, the moment I equip it, I got 5 more rebounds the next game. Well, it happens even without changing something. Sometimes I grab 2 boards in a park game, then the next game, I grab 10 without changing anything. So it's really hard to base something on that one. Next one, this one here is not exactly related, but this will help you understand that sometimes we can't just trust our eyes. I'll show you 2 clips. I'll play it a lot of times. I know probably 8 out of 10 of you guys will say that this one here released the ball faster. But what if I tell you that they're exactly the same speed? Even me, when I look at it in real time, it will give an illusion that the other shot is faster. My point here is, that's how easy your eyes can be deceived, resulting to placebo effect. Now for my next reason why I think it doesn't do those things, especially with rebounding, I just believe that if motion styles would do something functional, it should be something related to cutoffs or challenges, because it actually gives you visuals on those things. But knowing that they don't, why would I assume that it will do something else that are less related to what it's showing, if that makes sense? Now for the next one, this one here is not really a solid proof, but this will kind of make sense. I think there's a reason why when you look at the motion styles menu, it will only show you these animations, the defensive stance and the sprint. If it does something else, then maybe there should be a rebound demonstration there, or maybe some bumps, or maybe some steals demonstration, or some dribbling. But they only show the defensive stance and the sprint, which I told you that's the only thing it does. And in relation to menu, I received a comment saying, Choots, there's a reason why it's on the scoring, it means it's doing a lot of things. I know what you mean, but I think the only reason why it's on the scoring list is because there's nowhere else to put it. You can't put it on playmaking, you can't put it on in-game celebrations, or those two. And all options have more than one sub-options inside it. So I think they just don't want to add another tab there with defensive moves that only contains one sub-options. So they just decided to put it on scoring moves. So try not to overthink it. If anything, it should be on defensive moves. So that's all for my take. Again, the second half is just my opinion, but I did my best to be really objective about it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.